Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bros Talk MMA.
Shama.
I'm your host, UTICA, undeniably the illest cat around, a.k.a. Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick, a.k.a. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my hair, but I need to do something because it's getting crazy up there.
How embarrassing.
I'm here with my bro host extraordinaire.
You know what it is. It's RayBuck. It's Chuckle Jordan. It is Senior Parlay.
Oh, okay. I like that. All right, new moniker alert, folks. We're here to cover this weekend's fight night card taking place in Mexico City. It's gonna be a flyweight bout. It's gonna be Brandon Moreno taking on Steve Erceg. I believe that this right now is gonna be a 13-fight card. We're going to start things off in the lightweight division. We got Austin Hubbard going up against MarQuel Mederos. We got Hubbard coming in 4-6 in the UFC, 16-8 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Mederos coming in. They are 1-0. You good, my guy? Definitely something that could have been done before we started.
Fixing my shirt, bro.
1-0 in the UFC.
Thought you fucking fix your hair.
9-1 overall. And are currently on a 7-fight win streak. I'm going to be going with Mederos in this one by either decision or KO. They're going to be the younger and less rangy of the two. Striker primarily. They got speed. They're probably going to have the cardio advantage as well. They just need to keep this at distance and just avoid any grappling, I would say. Hubbard's going to be the older of the two by 5 years. Longer, somewhat well-rounded, leans into the striking, I feel like more so. He'll definitely grapple with you, but I feel like he prefers to strike. I would say, though, in this bout, he's going to have the grappling advantage. The only thing is, against this young guy, I don't know if that's going to fare well for him in the cardio department. So, you know, he should definitely mix it up, lean against Mederos, and possibly get him to the ground if possible, and just avoid any long-standing exchanges. And if he is going to stand with him, try and make it messy, bring him into the clinch, do some dirty boxing once again, lean him up against the cage, get some strikes in there. But yeah, I'll be going with Mederos in this one.
I'm going with Mederos as well. Austin Hubbard is, in my opinion, not he's beginning his downward slide. I don't think he's, necessarily on a downward slide to where he's like only going to fight 1 or 2 more fights in the UFC. But I think we've seen more fights from him than we're going to see come from him in the future. That being said, MarQuel Mederos, again, is 5 years younger, is, a young up-and-coming fighter, very well-rounded, always getting better in my opinion. And I just don't think that Austin Hubbard's going to have the cardio for him. Austin Hubbard may have a bit more fight IQ, possibly, but I think cardio, speed, and power is definitely going to take precedent in this particular fight. That being said, I've got to go with MarQuel Mederos. Yeah, that's what I got for you, player.
For sure. Sounds good. Moving down to the men's featherweight division, we got a bout between Jamall Emmers going up against Gabriel Miranda. We got Emmers coming in 3-4 in the UFC, 20-8 overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got Miranda coming in. They are 1-2 in the UFC, 17-7 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Emmers in this one. Decision or KO. Just they're gonna be the slightly shorter but longer of the two. Somewhat well-rounded. I would say that they like to strike though, if given the option. They should have the cardio advantage, I would say. They just are just inconsistent. That's really all it is. I feel like they've actually, beat some names on the come up, but just, in their UFC tenure haven't really been able to put it together the way that I'm sure that they'd like to. They just need to keep this at distance and avoid the grappling. I mean, I feel like they have some, but against Miranda, I feel like the more they can keep this at distance and just on the feet, that'd fare the best for them. Miranda's going to be the slightly taller of the two with just less of a reach. A grappler for sure. He's going to have the clear advantage there. So, I mean, outside of his cardio, I would say being a little bit of a concern. If he can get this down to the ground ASAP and, you know, while they're dry and, you know, start hunting for submissions and get this done quick, I think that'd be his best route to victory. But yeah, I'll be going with Emmers.
I'm gonna disagree with that. Jamall Emmers is just too inconsistent for me. Jamall Emmers, again, he's one of those cats that just doesn't seem to have a lot of heart in the sport. Where sometimes it looks like he's just collecting a check or he just doesn't want to be there, which makes no sense to me. Gabriel Miranda, on the other hand, not as great a striker, but a far better grappler than Jamall Emmers. And so if he is able to get a hold of Jamall Emmers, because Jamall's not putting any kind of pressure on him or scaring him in that first round, and Gabriel really comes out and decides to take the fight into his own hands, it's very possible. You know what I mean? As two dry opponents, he gets him down to the ground and he just smothers him. And I think this is going to be a weird one because I think it's going to be up to Gabriel Miranda to win that first round. I think if he's able to win that first round, in my opinion, the way I see it is if he's able to take him down, you know what I mean, control him, not necessarily submit him or really put a lot of damage on him, but just have the control time on Jamall Emmers. Then Jamall Emmers comes out, he taps him up, but then, you know what I mean, there's a little bit of a gassing that may happen in that third round. Gabriel Miranda, again, is able to, you know what I mean, do a takedown, get him down to the ground, control him again, and Gabriel Miranda wins by decision.
You know, if last week didn't happen, I would definitely be on your shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
I still think you made an interesting assessment and, you know, whatever for your pick. But given how last week went, which we'll get into later on in the show, I'm gonna let you, you know, live on this one.
Hold up.
So moving on to
Fuck
the
that
next
shit. No, I'm not letting nothing live. You know what I mean? Last week was bullshit. Last week was a fluke. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like, on this channel.
We lost the card, bro.
No. There's no we. Is there a fucking mouse in your pocket?
There's a we.
Is there a mouse in your pocket?
I don't know what that's supposed to
Well,
mean.
what I'm saying is, did I have the same record you did? Okay. Well, then out of us two, who had a better record?
You had a better record.
I had a better record.
Yeah, but we both lost the card.
Oh, wait. Cope. And I'm also back as a champion at 2025 once again. You forget about that?
Oh, so you're admitting that you lost it then?
The card.
No, but you lost the title at that point.
No.
You didn't lose it to me.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It wasn't like I was the winner.
Right. That's right.
But you did lose it. It wasn't yours anymore.
It was like it was interim. It was like an interim. You know what I mean? It was like an up for grab kind of thing.
I wouldn't say all that, but sure, bro. Like I said, we'll get into.
So and still, then fine it. And still, reigning, defending, because if you draw with the champ still keeps the title, right? And then I just defended it. Reigning, defending champion of 2025.
The fact that you feel like you can celebrate, given how horribly we both did on last week's
It was bad, bro. Okay, it was bad. Okay, I'm trying to
get all these new.
Can I silver line it a little bit? Can I silver line it?
Viewers, all these people who were like, yeah, these guys got figured out. Hell yeah. You know, my new favorite predictions and picks channel, fucking pull one of those. And you're over here having the gall to celebrate right now?
Look at this guy.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Boo this man.
Have some respect for our fucking following, our fans, and the people who entrust in us. We let them down, my man. We.
I mean, I let them down less.
A little less.
Less is still less.
A little less.
Less is less. Okay. Doesn't matter if it's a little or if it's a lot. It's less.
Okay. Can we move on now?
Sure, man.
Thank you.
Gabriel Miranda for the win.
We already touched on that.
Good.
Bruh.
Well, I just want to make sure that the people know.
Cool. Moving on to a lightweight bout. We got Rafa García going up against Vinc Pichel. We got García coming in 4-4 in the UFC, 16-4 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Pichel coming in. They are 7-4 in the UFC, 14-4 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Pichel in this one by either decision or KO. They're gonna be the older fighter by 12 years, bigger of the two, well-rounded in my opinion. May have the edge in the striking, just given this matchup, but definitely I see this fight taking place on the ground. They're gonna have the cardio, even given their age and just this point in their career. And if they can get García to the ground and just enact some ground and pound, I think that's their best route to victory. If they can touch them up on the feet, that's even better, But when they do get them to the ground, because I feel like this fight will go to the ground, if they're in the dominant position, just get that ground and pound going. And yeah, I think Pichel can get this, even though they're 12 years the elder. García, they're going to be the younger and smaller of the two, somewhat well-rounded, but definitely leans into the grappling. May have the edge in that department, but same thing. They need to get this to the ground, but instead of ground and pound, they're going to want to look to hunt for submissions. Cardio, though, I feel like could be an issue for them, which could be, the factor that ultimately decides this fight. But like I said, I'm going for the super underdog in Pichel. Who do you got? Not Pichel.
Not the fucking super underdog. Like, why would I do that? I mean, not to say I'm not going to do that later on in the card.
Yeah.
But what I am going to say is we're going with Rafa García. Rafa García is a fighter that has had better fights than Pichel has had, in my opinion. He has a better resume than Pichel has had. He's fucking younger than Pichel is.
Okay.
He's... You know what? Whatever. Anyway, he is the national fighter. You know what I mean? He is coming straight out of Mexico. So that being said, you know what I mean? There is that little bit of judging bias, as we know, we have seen when these cards, when they go out of town.
No, last week them niggas didn't give a fuck about it, English motherfucker.
They sure didn't, though. But like, you know what I mean? It just kind of depends. Well, I think you know what I mean. There's a lot of national pride, and I'm not saying they're cheaters or they're cheating. I'm just saying that like there's a lot of national pride in Mexico.
For sure.
So I think there's some things that could go certain ways.
Kiss my ass, putos.
I like Rafa for the win, and I'm not just saying that's how he's going to win. I'm thinking, you know what I mean, that he is truly going to beat Vinc Pichel's ass, or whatever his name is. But Rafa García for the win. Rafa García he's a good fighter. I think you don't give him enough credit. I think you are you're being a little wild in this card. We've had this conversation about this particular part of the card where you're going to make like a bunch of wild ass bets and wild ass picks. And this is another one of the bad ones. So now you've got 2 in a row. You're gonna make it 3?
Shut up, bitch!
You done?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the women's strawweight division. We got a fight between Julia Polastri going up against Lupita or Lupi Godinez. We got Polastri coming in 1-1 in the UFC, 13-4 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. We got Godinez coming in. They are 7-5 in the UFC, 12-5 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Godinez, who by either decision or sub. They're gonna be coming in on short notice. They're the older of the two by 4 years, less rangy. A grappler primarily, but they will stand there and throw hands, march forward, kind of weather some shots to get in close, and either just throw elbows or get you down to the ground, things like that. Definitely got some.
Really, nigga?
Damn, fucking 4th fight. This ain't shit. Good cardio. Just need to get this to the ground, I would say, is their best bet. Avoid any long-standing exchanges with Polastri. Avoid chasing them, and just, getting pointed up. Polastri's going to be the younger and of the two with a slight reach advantage. A striker with some grappling. Man, you could have closed the door. Will have an edge in the stand-up, definitely. Nothing like, I don't think she's gonna knock Godinez out, but she's definitely gonna, be able to point, strike, be technical, and just put it on her for 3 rounds if Godinez decides that she just wants to march forward and not really do much, which she has a habit of doing sometimes. But yeah, she keeps this at distance and just avoids any grappling exchanges. I think that would be her best bout to victory, but I'm gonna be going with Godinez. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Who the fuck is that guy?
What's your pick?
My pick is not Godinez. Lupita Godinez is just, she's not a killer. She's not exciting. She's not really a winner. As you said, she's 7-5 in the UFC. So her overall record at 12-5, again, that looks a lot better because she has 5 wins against trash cans. But she's really 7-5.
Not a better resume than Polastri would continue.
Of course she does. You know what I mean? She's been in the UFC a little bit longer. But Polastri, I do believe, has an ability, you know what I mean, to really showcase some ass whooping. You know what I mean?
No, you got?
Whose man is this? Cause your man.
Hey, I just want folks to
You know what?
It
Fuck
only
it.
was one fight better than me
Cope.
on last week's card.
But
That
I'm
was all
one
that made
fight
the difference. That was it.
I'm still better than you in 2024 and 2025. Like, what? You won 2 years. I'm better than you right now.
Okay.
Those years.
Okay.
This is a Mexican card. So now I'm just going to start speaking Spanish to you.
Let's not do that.
2 años. Puto.
Moving on to a featherweight belt. We got Mel Costa going up against Christian Rodriguez. We got Costa coming in 3-2 in the UFC, 22-7 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Rodriguez coming in. They are 5-2 in the UFC, 12-2 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I originally was going to go with Rodriguez in this fight, but I am now going to be going with Costa by either decision or sub. Costa was actually just in the cage, like, I want to say just some weeks ago. I don't even want to say like months. I feel like this fight he did was, literally 3 weeks and 6 days ago. This guy was in the cage, put away Andre Philly, made pretty quick work of him. He's going to be the slightly older of the two by 1 year. The taller fighter, well-rounded, definitely has some good grappling. Potentially has the cardio advantage in this match. Definitely a lot of good momentum coming into this match. And I feel like, they're, on the hunt to like, start rising in the ranks and, maybe not definitely like, a title contender by any means, but definitely just like trending in that direction. They got the better resume of the two. He just needs, if he can make striking, a factor in this bout, which, if it's going good for him and then mixed in his grappling, I think that this could be, another fast night for him or just another really good night for him. We got Rodriguez. He's going to be the younger and shorter of the two. Well-rounded, definitely leans towards his grappling and wrestling as well. He's got some pretty good hands, but nothing too threatening. His cardio is my concern, especially him entering another high elevation fight, which, the last time we seen him take an L was in Denver. I watched it with my own eyes, live. He started out good and then just gassed out, and eventually Julian Erosa, super vet, definitely older of the two in that fight, got on him and eventually ended that joint. So, and another issue I got with Rodriguez, he's just not always mentally locked in. And with a guy like Costa, who, like I said, I feels like super hungry right now and is riding on, some momentum and confidence. I just got to go with Costa in this one. Who do you got?
It's a great, a breakdown.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Pally.
I
I
know.
gotta give it to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I know, but thank you.
Costa is Costa's great. You know what I mean? I like Costa. I like Christian Rodriguez though. I think C-Rod has some shit, you know what I mean, to do. And you know what I mean, it has some grappling that you know what I mean that he can lean on. He can really decide the fight, and he can control the fight if he decides to. What's going to be is if he implements it early versus if he tries to implement it in the third round. That's what's going to change the game. Is he going to, you know what I mean, duck and dodge and 1-2 out, 1-2 out, you know what I mean, with Mazel Costa, where he should just eat a shot, throw the takedown, take Costa down, and you know what I mean, ground and pounder, work his grappling, as the grappling wrestler that he is.
Get on with it.
I'm not sure, but my pick is going to be with Rodriguez because I believe he can do that. He does have the ability. Mal Costa has been very, very active. I do respect his activity. But just because, you only fought a month ago doesn't mean shit. It means maybe you haven't recovered enough. You know what I mean?
Didn't even take any damage.
Doesn't fucking matter. You don't know if he twisted a fucking knee or twisted an ankle or anything else. Maybe he just needs a second paycheck. Maybe he's got like 4 or 5 baby mamas. We don't fucking know. I'm not that fucking invested in his life. But what I will tell you is I believe in C-Rod to win this one over Mazel Costa. But I think this is going to be a great fight. I don't think it's a terrible pick by you, which surprisingly, you know what I mean, because you do have a lot of fucking terrible picks. But that being said, you go ahead and move on, my boy.
Sure. All right, moving on to the middleweight division. We got about between Ateba, Gautier going up against Jose Medina. We got Gautier coming in, making their UFC debut, 6-1 overall, and are currently riding a 5-fight win streak. We got Medina coming in. They are 0-1 in the UFC, 11-4 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. My pick is going to be with Medina in this one, another super dog on the card. He's going to get this done by either KO or decision. He's going to be the older of the two fighters by 11 years, smaller of the two, a striker with some grappling, which I think will kind of be the X factor in this fight if that ends up taking place. If not, then the only other X factor I believe will be like, cardio and just having been, brought into those later rounds. He has a weak resume, but compared to Gautier, which we'll get to him in a second, better, if that makes any sense. He should mix it up, definitely, I think. Like I said, there's a potential that this just stays standing up, but if Medina's smart, he'll at least threaten the takedown to kind of keep Gautier at least guessing. But the one thing he needs to not do is just, get in the phone booth with this dude, or, just like get into any long-standing exchanges. His best bet is to take this into the later rounds and, just try to overwhelm Gautier with offense, and just, like I said, keep him guessing. Gautier is going to be the younger and bigger fighter of the two. Definitely a power striker. I don't got a lot more info on them than that, except for that their resume is I don't know. It's got literal frauds on it. You know, people who like Tapology literally are like, no, we can't even really consider this dude, you know, in terms of just like who he is as a fighter.
There's a fucking guy on there who's got like 2 wins and 27 losses or some wild shit that he has as like one of his fights, yo.
Yeah. So I mean, I just don't know if they're quite ready. They definitely had a nice little they had a nice little, you know, outing in their Contender Series fight, which I guess, you know, put them in position. This could be a springboard fight or it's a fraud checking, but definitely I'm going to go with the fraud check portion of this, and I'll be going with Medina.
I'm going with Medina as well. I think this is an absolute fraud check. Not only is he a one-dimensional fighter, he's a one-dimensional striker.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean? I don't see any leg KOs. I mean, he's not throwing spinning back kicks or question mark kicks or fucking
Are you sure about
front
that?
kicks or anything like that. It's literally hands. So we're literally putting a boxer in the ring with Jose Medina. Not that Jose Medina is amazing, but he's a more well-rounded MMA fighter. That being said, I've got to go with him. I think that the heavy favorite is crazy for that. I just do not think that Gautier is that great. It looks like he does have one head kick, which is
Right,
great.
nigga,
Like,
you should actually do some research before you come on my fucking show.
Hell no, man. Get your ass on, boy.
man, fuck this motherfucker, man. Jose Medina for the win, bro. And I guarantee it, it's good because I said it, not because he said it. Like, get the fuck up out of here.
Oh, I'm
You know what I
pretty
mean?
sure it's because I said it.
It's
my
not
G,
because you
but,
fucking said it. Get the fuck up outta here.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Damn right I do.
Moving on to a flyweight bout. We got Edgar Chairez going up against CJ Vergara. We got Chairez coming in. They are 1-2 with 1 no contest in the UFC. 11-6 with that 1 no contest overall. And 2-2 with that 1 no contest in their last 5 fights. We got Vergara coming in. They are 3-4 in the UFC. 12-6 with 1 draw overall. And 2-3 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Chairez in this one by either KO or submission. They're going to be the younger and taller of the 2 fighters with a significant reach advantage. Well-rounded, but definitely likes to strike. Cardio can be a question depending on, I guess, okay, so in their last fight, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily it was so much cardio as they were on their way to trying to finish their opponent and just ended up expending too much energy and then just were kind of, you know, just trying to regain energy throughout the rest of the fight, you know, because they expended so much whilst starting to leave themselves open and getting touched up by Van and eventually losing that fight. I would say it would be in his best interest to get the fight to the ground, though, you know, and mix it up at least just to threaten that takedown and keep Vergara guessing. Can I help you?
What the hell are you doing?
I didn't think so. Maybe
You can't help me.
Instead of focusing on me, maybe you should make sure that what you're saying matches up with what actually be happening with these fighters, bucko.
Chill the fuck out, bro.
Anyway,
You know what matches up? Is
But-
me winning. You know what I mean? That's
by
what fucking
one
matches up.
fight,
Cope.
It doesn't fucking matter. If
Vergara's,
it's an inch or a mile,
bruh,
a win is a win.
be a professional.
Whoa.
I am a fucking professional. What are we talking about?
Let me finish the breakdown. At
I'm
least
trying to.
before you start.
I didn't
to,
say a word.
Butt in with your buffoonery.
What did I say?
You're over.
Boom, roasted.
Who wants to look at you fucking being a funny guy, bruh? We lost last week. Last week. We,
Cope.
bro.
No, see, look at.
Did
look at.
you? Okay.
You lost.
Did you
you
win
lost.
more fights than you lost?
You
in
lost
your
the
picks?
card, and then you
Did
lost
you
against me.
win
So you
more
like lost.
fights
I only
than
I
you
won loss.
in your picks?
I won loss.
Answer the question. Did you win more or did you lose more?
I lost, bro.
Oh, me too. That sounds like both of us lost, making that a joint failure on the weekend.
But not in the year.
See,
Or the all-time.
just remember,
So
this
that's
guy's
two- that's
more
2 win-wins.
focused on his own stats than he is on the team, y'all. He's more focused on his own stats than actually helping y'all, achieve and maximize your financials on this show. He's
That's
more concerned about his
crazy
own
work.
stats.
Because my own
Remember
stats
this.
are literally going to, like, help their stats.
Duh.
What the fuck are we talking about? Like, do you guys want to win fucking more fucking fights than
Are
you've
you
lost?
proud of yourself? After last week?
XD.
Because I'm pretty sure that's all that matters. No one cares what you're doing all time or on the year against me, buddy. I'm pretty sure that they really only care about if you're taking this serious or not. You just said a man didn't throw head kicks. That'd be throwing head kicks.
How many head kicks
So
you
what
throw
is-
then?
so what are
Go
they
back to
supposed-
it then.
Are we,
How many is
now
that?
we're backtracking? We might as well
Whatever.
just do this over now.
No, we're not doing it over, bro.
We got
Fucking-
Vergara
who's your
coming
pick?
in. They're the older of the two by
Mhm.
4 years. Smaller, a striker primarily. I would say that they're a dog fighter that has cardio, and that's going to be their X factor in this fight, is if they can weather the storm against Shirez and then come on strong in these later rounds. And if he can potentially steal one of those first two, he definitely, if he finds himself in the third round with Shirez, he's going to be the one who's going to be coming on strong and could potentially steal the fight at that point. I wouldn't say he's necessarily threatening anywhere except for the fact that he will keep dogging it out with you and then eventually, start piecing you up if you allow him to stick around too long. He needs to just keep this standing, not even let this, go to the ground, being that Shirez has, a nice skill set down there, and try as hard as he can to take this to the later rounds and ultimately to a decision, because I feel like that is where he'll find his route to victory. So I'll be going with Shirez, though, in this
Even
fight.
though you put a fucking a couple essays together on like why Vergara can win.
Bro,
Get the
you
fuck
wanted
outta
to
here.
backtrack a whole fight, bro,
I don't
because
give a
you're
fuck.
a clown and don't
Edgar
really do
Shirez-
research. So
Alright,
what
folks.
lie are you about to tell our people now?
Yeah.
What doesn't Shirez or Vergara do that they
Let's talk
can
about it. Let's talk about
look at it and be like, oh, wait, I almost listened to this motherfucker and would have not seen a head kick fucking coming potentially.
Sweet. Shirez. Like, so you wanna so I don't do research is what you're telling them.
Man,
Great, that's great.
We were
So-
on
so you're
such
saying you
a-
do
we were on a
great
great
research.
track to have a pretty condensed show, and
Fuck
now
this.
we're
Fuck that
drawing
shit.
it out
Oh,
because you want to try and save face. Because we lost the card last week.
I'm picking Edgar Shirez because I don't know shit about him, but I'm gonna pick him because I think that's who's gonna win.
Is that what it is?
That's
now?
what I'm gonna do. Go ahead.
Go
ahead, we're gonna
you
just
in
run it.
feels now?
No, I'm running my fields. We're just gonna keep running through them, and then we're gonna see what happens next week. We're gonna talk about that shit.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
You don't got anything else?
Shirez for the fucking win
All right.
because I know.
All right. Moving on to another flyweight bout. We got Ronaldo Rodriguez going up against Kevin Borjas. We got Rodriguez coming in 2-0 in the UFC, 17-2 overall, and are currently riding a 7-fight win streak. We got Borjas coming in. They are 0-2 in the UFC, 9-3 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5. I'm going to be going with Rodriguez in this one by either submission or decision. They're going to be the younger and taller of the two, well-rounded, super aggressive, and a dog fighter, which was proven, I believe, in their last fight where they got put on their pockets and pretty much were done. They could have stopped the fight, I thought, and he was able to, get his wits, come back, which, I don't know, by decision, maybe you still could have gave it to his opponent, but I feel like just the fact that he was able to dog it out the way he was and still make it competitive, it was like, yeah, he kind of stole the fight. In this one, he's going to definitely want to mix in the grappling. He's going to want to lean into it pretty much round by round to try and break Borjas, who really doesn't have much to offer from there. And he just needs to keep it close and, avoid being at distance and, you know, like I said, eventually get this to the ground. Borjas is going to be the older of the two, longer with the reach advantage, a striker, and he just needs to keep the fight at distance, circle around, and just touch Rodriguez up, you know, and either break him down, you know, and find a finish, or eventually, or just, you know, draw it out to a decision and just, you know, point his way to victory. But yeah, for him, he's gonna want to avoid getting pressured, put up against the cage, or put on the ground. If he does, then it's pretty much gonna be a wrap for him. So I'm gonna be going with Rodriguez.
Ronaldo Rodriguez is the pick. He will whip some ass. Cameron will get a win with me.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Utica will get a win with me. Mr. Makes This Pick will get a win with me.
Is this nigga serious?
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What you want now?
Weak ass takes now.
Weak ass takes? No, these are great takes. Because they're gonna get exactly the meat and potatoes. I picked this motherfucker and he wins.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Meat, potatoes.
Are you saying I'm drawn out? Am I too
just-
long-winded?
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Sometimes people want to go to a greasy spoon. Some people want to go to a fucking a fancy fucking restaurant. You know what I mean? And like you're being fancy with it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's parsley on this. Oh, look a sprinkle of this, a sprinkle of that. Like, no, motherfucker, just make the fucking food. It's fucking eggs and it's bacon, bro.
Bacon.
Enjoy yourself. I'm
You
gonna
know-
give him eggs and bacon.
You know, technically, I'm actually like on God level when you really think about it.
On God.
Because I almost picked the winners and the losers on this show, given that I give analysis on both fighters. And usually, even though my pick will lose, the way that they lose is pretty much the way that I explain it in the analysis, or the way that the person beats their ass is the way that I explain it in the analysis.
Okay, you're right. You're right. No, this isn't a bullshit ass fucking. No, it's not. There you go. Like I respect it. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes maybe you should listen to your own fucking analysis, because sometimes you be talking about the person that lost far more than you be talking about the person that won, and then you're like, well, you know what I mean? I did say that could happen. When you should be saying like, fuck, I should have listened to my own goddamn brain. And then also my brother, you know what I mean? And been like, yeah, let's go with this dude. Because my brother said he was gonna win. And then I also like gave a fucking synopsis of how he was gonna win. So put that shit into your living room. Like slide that in the computer. You know what I mean? Input that, download it, upload it, whatever the fuck you need to do. All right? Figure that out.
Thanks. We'll take that into consideration.
Bitch.
Moving on to a bantamweight bout. We got David Martinez going up against Simon Oliveira. We got Martinez coming in, making their UFC debut, 11-1 overall, and are currently riding a 7-fight win streak. We got Oliveira coming in. They are 0-2 in the UFC, 18-5 overall, and are 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Martinez in this one by either KO or decision. They're going to be the younger and slightly bigger of the two. A striker primarily. Definitely should have the edge there. He just needs to avoid any and all grappling exchanges. I don't got a lot of info on him that says maybe he doesn't, have some good defense or something like that. But all in all, this is definitely a springboard fight and or another, fraud check occasion. But I do believe that Martinez will be able to, live up to the hype. Whereas Oliveira is going to be the older of the two by 7 years, slightly smaller, a grappler, and probably has the edge in that department. Definitely has a little bit of handwork. But I'll be honest, I don't really got a lot of info on them as well.
Bruh.
But I assume that, my bro would have came in here. Oh, wait, I can't blame that on him. That's the team and shit. Okay, Oliveira is going to be the older of the two by 7 years, slightly smaller, a grappler with some hands, but he's definitely going to look to get this to the ground. I don't got a lot of info on him, but, I assume they're trying to avoid an early exit from the UFC because it's starting to trend in that direction. So I feel like they're going to come in super dangerous, not a lot to lose, so they're going to be definitely, I would say, trying to throw hands, but definitely looking to get this to the ground. Ultimately, that's where it needs to go for them to win. But, as long as they can avoid, long-standing exchanges and get in close on Martinez, I think that they'll have a shot in that regard, but I'll be going with Martinez in this one.
I'm absolutely going with Martinez, you know what I mean? Dos hombres, money, mano.
Huh?
Fucking chingazos. Martinez.
All right.
Puntos.
That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
You going with Martinez then?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks. Moving on, folks, we got another bantamweight bout. We got Raul Rojas Jr. going up against Vince Morales. We got Rojas Jr. coming in 4-1 in the UFC, 10-1 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. We got Morales coming in there on the second of 2 stints in the UFC, 3-7 overall in the UFC, 16-9 overall just in MMA, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Rojas Jr. in this one by either submission or decision. They're gonna be the younger and taller of the two, well-rounded, but definitely leans towards their grappling. I would say that they're evolving, so they're definitely trying to get their hands up and just become more of a more well-rounded fighter. They just need to manage their energy output, avoid gassing, and just get this fight to the ground. Either submit their opponent or get some good ground and pound going. Morales is going to be the older of the two by 14 years, longer, and definitely well-rounded in their own regard. A dog fighter, which was showcased in their last fight against a young up-and-comer who they almost stole that motherfucker from. They got cardio, but I just feel like, in terms of just their skill set and who they are as a fighter, they're starting to hit a ceiling. They're gonna test Rojas Jr., but ultimately, I just feel like they're gonna flame out due to just things beyond their, control. In specific to just father time, and they just if they can keep this standing, good for them. And I would say drawing it out to the later rounds and or to decision is probably going to be their best route to victory. But I'll be going with Rojas Jr.
Rojas Jr. is a pick. Rojas Jr. is definitely going to be part of my parlays. Rojas Jr. is just a fucking dog. He's an upcoming fighter. He's an ever evolving fighter. He has the striking. He has the cardio. He has the grappling. And so Rojas Jr. beats the shit out of Vince Morales. Unfortunately for Vince Morales, but Rojas Jr. wins this one.
For sure. Moving on to a middleweight bout. We got Calvin Gastelum going up against Joe Pyfer. We got Gastelum coming in 13-9 with 1 no contest in the UFC, 19-9 with that 1 no contest overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. We got Pyfer coming in. They are 4-1 in the UFC, 13-3 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Pyfer in this one by either submission or decision. They're going to be the younger and bigger of the two fighters, well-rounded, and seems to be making it super effort to work on their grappling in particular. I believe that will give them the advantage in this fight, where they should just look to mix it up with that and not necessarily look to knock Gastelum out, but just beat him up, over the course of 3 rounds and just stay measured and, look, just get themselves another win under their belt. I feel like Gastelum, he's the older of the two by 5 years. Smaller, well-rounded, but leans towards his striking. I feel like he's definitely gotten away from whatever, wrestling that he had that once, made him a lot more threatening in this division. Now it's just more so he likes to throw bombs, get scrappy, get things into a phone booth. He's durable, but his cardio and his conditioning ultimately are what swayed me towards Pyfer. I just don't feel like, like I said, he's not conditioned, let alone conditioned to grapple. So even if Pyfer just mixes it up a little bit just to threaten the takedown, I think that's going to throw Gastelum off his game. He's going to throw a lot of overhands, and if Pyfer's able to just, avoid any, uh big haymakers type shots, I feel like he'll be able to take this one home. And yeah, I just think that Gastelum really only has, just like a flash KO chance of getting this one done.
I think Calvin Gastelum is a undisciplined. That being said, being a world-class athlete, he's doing that. Oh, I'm doing that, and he's doing that. But I'm not a world-class athlete, so Joe Pyfer might whip his ass. Because Joe Pyfer is taking this a little more serious than Kevin Gastelum is. Joe Pyfer is ever evolving as an athlete and as a competitor, working on his grappling, working on his striking. Striking, which is one of his better things, but his grappling is also getting better. And that being said, he's going to beat Kevin Gastelum. What the fuck are you looking at me for, bro? Because I don't like it.
Are you okay?
Motherfucker, I'm listening to your analysis.
Good. Just keep it that. Keep it that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking slap.
You all right?
I'm gonna slap to me.
Oh man,
a quick slap to me.
Didn't you win last week, bro?
I did.
Didn't you
But
lose
then,
and
I
win?
thought it was like I thought we couldn't look at each other.
Week?
Remember, you're like, we
Damn.
can't look at each other no more because like you interrupted my whole little flow because you just kept looking at me and doing this fucking face.
Nah, bro, you're being a weirdo is what you were doing, bro. Because you're watching me fucking put on a fucking clinic, acting like I wasn't fucking just spitting bars and being just being weird with your little fucking white van glasses.
What do you mean by that?
Like you drive something with sliding doors. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening. We got a lightweight bout. We got Manuel Torres going up against Drew Dober. We got Torres coming in 3-1 in the UFC, 15-3 overall, and 4-1 in their last 5 fights. We got Dober coming in 13-10 with 1 no contest in the UFC, 27-14 with that 1 no contest overall, and 2-3 in their last 5 fights. I'm going to be going with Torres in this one by either submission or KO. They're going to be the younger and bigger of the 2 fighters. Well-rounded, but definitely likes to get in there and just throw hands. But he's going to have the edge in the grappling, or at least I think he will. So he should definitely use that to keep Dober guessing at the very least. And just potentially lean into it, as the rounds go. And, find that submission. Or they're very capable of just, tapping Dober's chin, which is, kind of taking a beating over time, and putting him out. Dober's going to be the older of the 2 by 6 years, smaller, a power striker, and may have the edge on the feet in that regard. He's definitely live for a flash KO. His cardio, and his chin, though, I believe are ultimately going to be the factor. One of those is going to let him down, I feel like. But definitely, if he can keep this on the feet and, pressure Torres against the cage and, potentially trap him and catch him with that haymaker, then, that very well could happen. I believe this dude holds the most knockouts in this division. But if he just needs to avoid grappling, though, and in order for him to land those kinds of shots, it could mean him having to get in close, which, leaves him vulnerable for the takedown, which then Manuel Torres could, take advantage of being the better of the 2 on the ground, which I believe he should do, but he's also the kind of type that like can get pulled into, we're just gonna throw hands and see who falls first. But ultimately, he could win that as well. So that gives him more routes to victory. To me, I'll be taking him over Drew Dober in this one.
I agree with that. You have a great analysis on that one. Drew Dober, literally, his route to victory is Mike Tysoning fucking Manuel Torres. He literally needs to like kind of just paint his way in, eat one shot or two shots or however many shots it takes, and then crack him as hard as he fucking possibly can. He has little short arms. He has a lot of power in him. He's fairly quick, but he has no reach. And he is mostly hand strikes, in my opinion. So Manuel Torres, if you can just avoid that, bro, you win this one. So also, you're the Mexican national. You know what I mean? That being said, you know what I mean? That there's a little extra, like couple points
he
there.
won or he lost at Noche his last time out, so he definitely could benefit from getting a win in front of the hometown for sure.
So Manuel Torres for the win.
Oh, here we go.
I'm fuck, bro.
Part 2. You get a 2-for-1, folks. Talk shit. Then go fucking pee on his balls.
That's kind of small.
All right, folks. Moving on to
the main event of the evening.
We got a flyweight bout between Brandon Moreno going up against Steve Erceg. We got Moreno coming in 10-5 with 2 draws in the UFC, 22-8 with those 2 draws overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. We got Erceg coming in. They are 3-2 in the UFC, 12-3 overall, and 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Moreno in this one by either decision or submission. They're gonna be the slightly older of the two by a couple years. The longer fighter, well-rounded, and they might just have the edge in every, part of this fight. They got good cardio, definitely a dog fighter, great resume, I would suggest that they mix it up for sure and just, lean into that grappling as it goes on in the fight. And just like look for a finish if it presents itself. They need to, avoid any long-standing exchanges with Erceg. I think that, although they should have the edge, like I said, in all aspects, Erceg is dangerous on the feet, definitely is powerful, and is scrappy on the ground too. I just believe that Moreno has the edge, over him just based upon his experience and just the level of competition that he's faced. But I would say, he should start out striking for sure, unless there's like some sort of advantage on the Erceg side. But if everything, is pretty chill on the feet, I would say he should start there and then gradually, round 3 and beyond, move into the grappling, because I wouldn't grapple with Erceg too early on, just to avoid any type of like bad scrambles where you might get caught up, because Erceg is sneaky good on the ground. Erceg's gonna also, be the slightly younger and taller of the two fighters, well-rounded, but definitely leans into his striking more so. He's gonna have the edge and the power, I believe, if there's anything that I can give him. He does have good cardio. He is a dog fighter, but he did just get, starched by Kai France here recently. I just think because Pantoja is so dominant, that division is, doesn't have a lot of contenders in it. It's kind of like all the same guys at the top and just one dude that's basically dominated all of them. So they kind of had to push Erceg into this, contender realm just to kind of mix things up. But in my opinion, he's kind of pushed a little bit too soon. But I mean, now he's here. The only thing he can do now is just fight the best of the best at the top of the division, get that experience needed, and potentially become the champ down the road. But, I don't think he's going to get it done in this fight. If he were to get it done in this fight, definitely needs to keep it standing and just avoid the grappling of Moreno. But I can't see him knocking out Moreno or, out pointing him. So I'm gonna have to ultimately go with Moreno in this one.
So I got a question for you, Mr. Research. Mr. I know what the fuck's going on, and I like also like me not being a research guy, you know what I mean, at all apparently. Steve Erceg has fought Pantoja, right?
Mhm.
Yes. What was that? How did that outcome? What was that outcome?
He got beat.
He got beat. He got beat, right? Unanimously?
Yeah,
Yes, in a decision, right?
I believe
And
so.
Brandon Moreno has also fought Pantoja as well, right?
Mhm. Lost every time.
Okay, well, what was that outcome?
What do you mean?
It was a splitty. I'm not sure if you know that. Maybe something you don't know that I know. But it was a split decision.
What does this have to do with anything?
Brandon Moreno and Steve Erceg have both fought the champion. But Brandon Moreno went in a splitty, which means that somebody believed that he won. That being said, Steve Erceg unanimously got beat by the fucking champ. Brandon Moreno did not. Brandon Moreno is my pick because Brandon Moreno has taken the champ to a splitty. That being said, Brandon Moreno is my pick. I don't need to say much more because I know what the fuck I'm doing. I also know who the fuck I'm picking, and I do my fucking research. But it is what it is.
You know what you're doing? You know what you're doing.
We'll see.
Look that way.
What a dumbass.
Hopefully they picked that up in my microphone though. Mister, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Fuck it, I'm gonna do it again.
Oh, you're gonna do it again?
Bruh.
Let me explain to you what my pick's gonna be. My pick's gonna be Brandon Moreno over Steve Erceg. Because why? Let me ask you
I don't know, bruh.
Let me ask you a question.
Your mic wasn't fucking on you to explain to anybody, so I don't know. I know. Because I had to sit here and listen to
Let me ask you a question.
This guy stinks.
What are we doing now?
Well, now that your mic's on you, on your person, you got any parlays?
Senior Parlay does have parlays.
Come on now, dog.
That being said, he's going to start off with Mederos.
Bruh.
What the hell was that?
God, bro. That is... Who? Did we get another fight added to the card?
Mederos.
Okay.
Mederoso. Who else? Polastri. Shirez. I don't know. Shirez. Rosas. It is what it is. You guys can hate on the fucking way I pronounce names. I'm not a motherfucking spelling bee champion or a fucking a linguist of sorts. Those are my four. Those are my four for a fucking great fucking parlay. Get the fucking money. You got some parlays, my boy?
I do.
Go ahead. Show
This
me what they
week.
are. Tell me what they are.
You know, we about to go 2 for 2 on parlays this time around. We hit the spicy 6-pick last time around.
What?
This time we're going for the
Last time around, you didn't even do one last week.
No, the last time around that I did make a parlay, I won, unlike you. So, before I was so rudely interrupted, I will get into my next 6-pick parlay. We're going to start with a base 3, though. So, we're going to start with Mederos.
I thought you read my book.
And then we're going to go with Ronaldo Rodriguez. And then we're going to end that off with Joe Pyfer. If you're trying to get spicy with it, you can go ahead and add a spicy Brandon Moreno on there. If you're trying to get extra spicy with it, you can go ahead and throw Emmanuel Torres on top of that. And I'm adding a new category to the spicy picks. If you're trying to shit your pants on the night,
Oh, no.
then you want to go ahead and add in a spicy Medina to end out Mexico City spicy 6-pick parlay by your boy, yours truly. But yeah, there's that. Boom. Real quick, I just want to take this time out to shout out the UFC Predictions Tracker. Much love to them, even though, I wasn't on the best end of things last week. But make sure you go check them out to see how all of the pick and prediction space on YouTube is doing against each other, who are the most consistent channels. See who does the best out of the odds makers, Tapology community, and the YouTube channels.
I mean, you were a two-week winner too. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I was on a little streak for a while
action.
there. Yeah, but we fell off a little bit. But I guess to get into that, let's just get into it. I just want to apologize to like I said, all our viewers, all of our subscribers. Wasn't our event, wasn't our day since these fights took place in the UK. But normally, it'd be, it wasn't our night. But in this case, it wasn't our day, wasn't our event. We're gonna bounce back though. Not really too worried about that one. I would say that card reminded me of Leon Edwards' performance.
Cool.
So it is what it is. But once again, this is a new week, new event. Not really stressed about that one. You got anything?
I'm the fucking greatest. I'm always gonna be the greatest. I mean, even if I lose a fucking car occasionally, that's gonna fucking happen. But for the most part, I don't do that shit. So you guys know, it's me. I'm right here. I got you.
As much as I would like to talk shit right now, I will say that right now he backs that talk up. He is right now I'll give you a graphic showing you that he did win the card. Simultaneously while losing, he did win the card against me. So I'll show you the results from that card last week. We also have the results on the year of 2025. And then we also have the all-time results, all of which go to him. So, I can't talk too much shit in that regard. If there was, I guess, the shiniest turd at the bottom of the barrel,
Wait,
that would
what?
be him. So
And the darkest, most charcoal turd at the bottom of the barrel would be you, I guess. Is what we're talking about, huh?
no, I'd just be slightly less shiny because it was one fight. That's all.
You're the fucking like the 10K turd, and I'm a 14K turd. Is that what you're saying?
All right.
All right.
I'm a moissanite turd. You diamond turd. I'm a fucking moissanite turd.
Oh.
Anyway,
I'm definitely like a lab grown.
which sounds crazy, moist and a turd. But anyway,
moistenite turd is gross, bro.
Again.
Just want to shout out everybody who's subscribed here recently, who's viewing the channel, whether, we popped up in your recommended or you got wind of us through the predictions tracker. However you came across the show, whether you love it or hate it, we just appreciate you tuning into us. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. You can follow us on Instagram or TikTok at Bros Talk MMA. You can follow me at Utica_SME on both those platforms as well.
You can only follow me if you got a OnlyPants or a Cornhub. If you do, I'm at R1.Mason on Instagram.
Well, folks, with all that being said, we want to wish y'all nothing but the best. Good luck and happy betting this weekend. And until the next time,
It's the Parlay, Senor.
we out.